build that strength to press through the pads of the toe and be able to crunch through the arch. This will lift the transverse arch of our foot, strengthening that arch there, as well as activating these muscles through the inside of the arch and help you develop that spring effect through the foot, that dynamic function that should be happening when you're walking and not having to think about it. If you have a lot of motion in the big toe, you probably don't have a lot of control, and that's what we want to work on. Even if you can lift the big toe up, if you're having any issues with the foot and ankle, it's most challenging to press the big toe into the floor, activate the arches of the foot. That's what we will begin working on here. Take your toe band, put that across the pads of your big toes, begin seated, and as you progress, you can begin doing this standing and changing where your foot is relative to your knee will change the difficulty of the exercise. You want to make sure that the insides of the feet are planted down. You're using the whole foot on the ground and your knees are pressing to the outside. We want to work on strengthening the foot with this alignment through the ankle and the knee, working on stretching this tight tissue there. If you have a lot of tightness, it's going to be even a lot of effort just to keep your knees in line with the feet. A quick note for modification: if you have a lot of tightness on the inside of the lower leg and ankle, or a lot of instability, and you really can't control the placement of the knees, if you have a hard time even maintaining this in-line position, use a yoga block between your knees or a Pilates ball to squeeze. That's going to help assist you maintain good alignment and assist you at getting better activation through the foot so you can have more success with this exercise and strengthen the musculature you are intending to strengthen. Let's begin by creating as much tension as you can tolerate through the band between the big toes. What we want to aim to do is get the big toes in a position from the band tension, pulling it towards the inside. The big toe ideally is designed, and the alignment should be in line with this bone of the foot. And that's what we're going to start to aim to strengthen and get some control over. First exercise is simply going to be one side at a time, lifting the toe up against that band and then controlling the big toe down. There's the resistance to lift the big toe up. You should be pressing the small toes down into the floor, but you don't want the band to just flop you back down. You want to use that eccentric contraction, control that motion down into the floor. Let's do 15 of those. So lift for 1, 2, press down, lift for 3, control it down, give a little press, lift for 4, control it down, give a little press, lift for 5, press, lift for 6, control it down, press, 7, press, 8, press, 9, 10. Control that movement as best you can. It's always the hardest in the beginning, and you'll see it strengthen over time. It really doesn't take too long if you're consistent with it. It's 13, press, 14, and press. Last one, lift for 15, control it down, press, pause, and then relax. Let's do the other side. So press those small toes down, make sure that foot alignment is right where you want it to be as best you can. Let's lift for 1, control it down and press. Lift for 2, control it down, press. Lift for 3, press. 4, press. You can see I'm having a harder time on this right side, One side is always going to be a little weaker than the other. I'm going to create a little more tension there. 6, 7, 10, 11. Do the best you can, controlling that downward motion. Good. Let's look for 14. And 15. If you have it in you, do another set. Now we're going to press the big toe into the ground and try to shorten through this plantar arch. So we should be like lifting up through here. You're going to take the ball of the foot, should lift slightly off the floor as you're pressing the pad of the toe down, and then the arch will shorten. Definitely start doing this in a seated position. And just don't want the band to slip. We're going to separate our feet to get that resistance through the big toes, pulling them to the inside so we can set our ideal foundation position. Our knees are in line with our feet or to the outside to help address that alignment. Now we are going to we'll do the right foot first, press the big toe into the ground, and then work on shortening that foot. In the beginning, you're probably not going to get much motion, and that's okay. Just work on pressing the pad of the big toe down. Feel that lift through this joint here, that ball of the foot, and the activation of the tissues under the arch. You will see how the transverse arch will start to lift here a little bit, and as you practice this and develop some strength, you will be able to create more motion over time. So let's go through 15 repetitions as best you can. Let's press for 1, control it back, press for 2, control, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Other side. Press the pad toe down to lift that ball of the foot up as you try to shorten the foot. 2, 3, 4. Control the release. Don't let it just pull you, flop you there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Press the pad of the toe down and pull it back towards your heel. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you have it in you, do a second set. This next exercise is going to help us strengthen the arch and ankle using a tennis ball and our silicone toe spacers. So let's put our toe spacers on. Now that we have our toe spacers set, we're going to take our tennis ball, put our feet close together, basically as much as your knees will allow you. You're gonna take the tennis ball and shove it between your heels. So as I go to stand up, I'm going to squeeze my heels together as I straighten my knees. The toe spacer is gonna help me keep those toes spread, and I'm going to press the pad of my toes into the floor. So squeezing the ball between my heels, pressing the pads of the toe into the floor. My knees are not locked straight. They have a softness to the bend, and I feel my inner thigh engaged, my hamstrings, and my glutes. And that's very important that we want to maintain that engagement as we move through this exercise. We are going to do 15 repetitions. We're going to press the toes pads into the floor, squeeze the tennis ball, and raise our heels up as we maintain even pressure across the front of the foot. If you get to a point where you're going to roll onto the big toe or roll to the outside of the foot, you want to just pause and then control yourself back down to the beginning. As you lift your heels up, you should be squeezing that tennis ball more so that you feel greater glute and hamstring engagement. So let's begin. Let's press the toes down, squeeze that tennis ball, and raise the heels up for 1. Control the motion down. 2. Control it down. Gentle tap. 3. Make sure you're holding onto a wall, counter, a table. There's no reason you should be balancing. You want to make sure that you're keeping that pressure even across that toe box. You've been compensating enough as it is. We really want to break those patterns. If you're not feeling those glutes engage, got to squeeze that tennis ball more. Shift your alignment a little bit. Make sure those shoulders are stacked over those hips, over those knees, over those ankles. 14 and 15. Great job.